What's up, guys? So I took full advantage on Cyber Monday and I bought one of the most expensive intakes that they make for this truck. Not exactly sure on when it's going to be delivered, but I am definitely excited for that install. Kind of a weird quirk about it though. It says it comes with a belt attached to it for some reason. Not really sure what's up with that, but today we're on the complete opposite side of the spectrum because we are going to be testing out quite possibly the cheapest cold air intake designed specifically for this truck. Not your generic $37 eBay special that's going to heat soak the truck the moment you crank it. This is a properly engineered intake. Is it crap? Is it amazing? I'm not really sure. It's made by a suspension company, actually, oddly enough. Rough Country, what you doing? I don't really know. 130 bucks versus the typical 500. I think it's worth giving it a shot. Let's get this thing inside. Let's do the safe thing and pop our negative terminal off. Nice. Gotta love starting an install with a dead battery. Pop our engine cover off. Gross. Look at that big freaking hideous intake muffler thing. Absolute trash. Let's unplug our sensor. Push down. Wiggler free. Not sure if this one's connected on the bottom of the tube or not. Doesn't feel like it is. Let's loosen our clamp. And pop this coolant hose free from the intake tube. Right here, there's a hose that attaches to this muffler system. I'm gonna just grab this guy, kind of wiggle it, pull out, it'll pop free, just like that. And then loosen the clamp at our throttle body. Now let's go ahead and wiggle this guy off of the box. And then we can lift this. There's a pin right here, and get her out of there. Now we should be able to just grab our intake box and pop it free. Lift it out of there. Now you want to reach in here and remove these two grommets. If your truck doesn't have them for some reason, you're gonna have to drill holes. Hopefully yours does. Here's the complete kit from Rough Country. Looks pretty simple and straightforward, so hopefully an easy install. Got a tube, weather stripping, adapters, clamps, heat shield, intake tube, which is aluminum, not plastic. Unfortunately, I usually pick plastic ones. I just prefer them. I got the little intake rubber housing, the filter itself, and I thought I did opt for the outerwears, which was only $10 more. First thing we gotta do is get this mounting bracket in there. So we gotta figure out the hardware. I think it's these little rubber guys right here. They gotta go in the spots where we just pulled the other ones out. Let's go ahead and put these down in place. Now it says to go ahead and put this guy down into place and screw in those lower two mounts. The kit came with two of these brackets. This is the longer one. It's gonna go from that guy right there to that guy right there. I'm gonna find the hardware, throw it in there. I'll show you how it turns out. Got the bracket in there and she is a lot more secure. I'll throw up a picture right here, what I actually used to mount that guy. This guy that we popped free from the intake tube earlier, just go ahead and grab it at the bottom, pull it straight forward towards the front of the truck. It'll pop free. That hose that's in the kit is gonna go in this place. Now we're gonna install our intake tube adapter. So slip this guy on here, and there are two supplied screws with washer. Let's line it up, tighten it down onto the heat shield. Don't go too crazy on it. Last thing I'm gonna do is strip the threads out. I know you've been on there since 2006, but we need you to be free. There we go. You need to take that guy off your mass airflow sensor. You got to use these new rubber pieces to attach that. Also, if you look at your intake tube and you're like, holy crap, I only took one hose off, that's gonna be that guy, because this guy's just a dummy plug for some reason. Yeah, so you don't have to plug it. It's not going all the way through. It's time to throw all these little guys on there. Let me figure out what goes to what. We're gonna go ahead and put the coupler on the throttle body, tighten this guy down first, and then put the intake tube on there. And then we're gonna push it all the way up into place. Hey, it's AT&T. Finally, we're gonna have internet. Unfortunately, it was not AT&T, it was actually FedEx dropping off some goodies for Gamble. I guess we're gonna leave this a little loose until we get the rest hooked up, just so we can finagle it. You wanna be very careful with this guy, do not drop it. Also, you see the arrow, that's the airflow direction. Let's get that guy seated. Right there. And this guy is going to go right here. Let's go ahead and get this guy in place, just like that. Put our clamp on. Not drop the mass airflow sensor tube into the bottom of the truck to get ruined. This guy is going to go over the top. Down there. Oh, brother. We need some extra length. Let's go ahead and put our filter on. Snug it up. I kind of wish they also came with like a little mini clamp, just to ensure, well, we're actually gonna have to cut it because that's gonna be in a bind. Can't forget about your engine cover. It's also such a shame that they did away with the cool Vortec Max cover on this generation compared to the GMT 800. It looks so much better. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. So before we talk about our MPG, whether it's gone up, down, or stayed the same, as well as our intake air temperatures compared to the outside air, let's talk about the sound. So, I hear nothing. I hear absolutely nothing. Now this truck has the filter on the passenger side versus the driver. Doesn't help. The truck's exhaust comes out right there in front of the back tire, so it's kind of on from that side, so the exhaust is loud, so it just really covers up. Okay, you can hear it kind of, that sucking air. It's nothing extreme. It's not like that kind of deal. It's just a kind of a rushing, if that's the correct terminology for it. So yeah, as far as, you know, getting a big intake boost, noise level wise, not really there. So thanks to our Diablo Sport monitor, I can actually see real-time intake air temp. So we're gonna talk about that in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and go over MPG. So when I reset it this morning, it was saying 12.7. And we've driven to lunch and around town and just filming some stuff here and there. 14.3. So no, I don't have like 2 tanks of gas ran through it or a week of daily driving or anything like that. So this is a very bare bones MPG test, but I've never seen this truck have that good a fuel economy. Now it might be the 54-degree air that it's loving. That's definitely a possibility. When it comes to intake air temps, because I know people are going to be concerned with the open filter element part of this filter or this kit. A lot of people you know, swear by the factory air box because it draws air from outside the engine bay, or an aftermarket one that has a closed box. I get it. It makes sense, right? You don't want the filter just chilling, sucking in your engine heat air and heat soaking the engine more, and then just, you know, that cycle is not good for any kind of performance or efficiency whatsoever. 54 degrees outside, and our intake air temp while driving is 57 degrees. So it's getting pretty much as cool of air as it possibly can. It's just barely retaining any additional heat through the tube, or, you know, the air circulation, whatever the case is. It's barely soaking up any. Now we're gonna pull over. Actually, we're not gonna pull over there. We're gonna pull over here because I don't want to curb my wheels, and see how quickly it rises as you know, stop the airflow from going down the road. Time lapse now for, I don't know, a minute, which would be the longest red light of your life. After a minute of idling, it's showing 64 degrees. So that was actually better than I was even expecting. 64 degrees. So let's go ahead and just hop on the road, see if it goes up. Don't know why it would. Should go down pretty quickly. Okay, there's 66 as we took off, 68. So maybe the monitor's a little bit behind. Starting to drop. I mean, it's literally 56 degrees outside, and that's 63. So like, can it go lower? I mean, not really. That's that's pretty impressive, I ain't gonna lie. I was expecting it to be like, for one, the temp to jump up pretty quick once you just sit, but also not be that close to the ambient air temp. So yeah, it's an open filter, but heat shield's clearly doing some work. I totally forgot to film putting this trim piece on earlier, but it basically just squishes down onto the heat shield. And honestly, once you get that on there, it makes the entire kit look a lot more premium. Let's take a couple steps back. I think that looks really good, and I honestly I don't think anything negative to say about this thing. It was pretty cheap looking and feeling when it was all disassembled, but once you get it together, I think it looks really nice. The filter looks cool. The seal makes the, you know, heat shield look a lot more premium, and no real complaints. It's a $130 kit that I think a lot of people would actually enjoy it compared to $400 to $500. Now, is it as premium as those kits? No. But also some of those kits are pretty cheap feeling, even though they still have a heavy price tag. So yeah, I think this is the direction a lot more companies need to go. Cheap intakes. This cannot cost a bunch of money to mass produce, and so props to Rough Country for deciding to branch out a little bit and do an intake. So I'll have a link to them in the description. I bought this straight up. There's no affiliation. They don't know I'm filming this video, anything like that. I just wanted to test it out. And I know we didn't do anything crazy like go out and do 0 to 60 tests and those kind of things, which it could improve the performance some. I don't even think they put any numbers to claim that it actually does. But that's not why I bought this intake. That's why I bought the expensive one that I was joking around about in the beginning of the video. Yes, I did buy it. Yes, if you know what I'm talking about that I bought, then heck yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome. If not, then I guess just stick around. You'll see it eventually. Intake air temps were very manageable. Now, of course, it is winter time. If it was, you know, 99 degree midsummer, would it heat soak a lot faster? Probably, but that's going to be the case for anything. But in the cool 50 degree weather we have right now, it's keeping the hot air over there, and it's drawing the cool air from, you know, the factory locations right here and down below, which if you're a certified mud bogger, maybe not the intake for you, because, you know, there's the ground through your fender well. So, yeah, water, boom, not good. I'm not doing that, so it's no problem. Rain's not going to get in there, anything like that. And yeah, so overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I did expect to hear it. Honestly, this is my first like open box filter or intake. I was thinking I'd hear it pretty prominently, but whether it's the exhaust, the location over here, or what, it's pretty quiet. Now, I haven't watched back the video of us revving it, so maybe it is pretty noisy there. It sounds good, whatever. Maybe I can hear some, I don't know. Either way, I was expecting it to be loud, but you know, that could be a negative or a positive for some people that didn't want to hear it but did want the other benefits. So anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling. Hopefully you did enjoy. There it is, $130 Rough Country cold air intake installed. And honestly, for a cheap $130 intake, I'm having to give that like a solid 8 out of 10. It could be a little bit more premium, of course, but then it would be more expensive. So maybe it's higher than that. Maybe it's a 10 out of 10. I don't know. Y'all let me know. If you have one of these on your truck, let me know your experience with it. Have you noticed anything good or bad? And once again, I'll have a link to it in the description. I'll see y'all boys in the next one.